The only reason why I have put some videos recently of me doing some acrobatic movements in Virginia Beach on the ocean front. Actually, a nice lady took a video of me on the sidewalk next to a Dairy Queen that's on the ocean front. And previously, my videos that I've made, usually on the heavy bag or like various different workouts, there was a lot of showing off, but simultaneously I realized it was a way to check myself, because I learn a lot. Thankfully, I have my eyesight, my vision, even though I need corrective lenses, but I learn a lot by observing, by watching. And we don't need to get into the science of mirror neurons, but I'm mentioning it so that you can look into mirror neurons. I've written extensively and spoken extensively about mirror neurons, so that is something that you can look into yourself. But one of the reasons why I have, I put these videos up recently showing the movements off and things like that is because today a lot of people really require a lot of validation, meaning they need to validate that you can actually do what you say you can do. And I'm addressing this very specifically because of what I consider to be an issue in the fitness, health, and wellness space, where there are people, especially because, so I'm 48 years old, so there's a certain demographic that I'm in. I don't know what those numbers are, what the age below and above mine are for whatever demographic I'm in. But there are all kinds of people in the space, and you'll see stuff online, and I see a lot more of it, especially whenever I post something that has to do about, there's like all this fit over 40 and, all this kind of stuff like that. But the problem is, what most people are posting is the way that they look, right? And you can cheat that in so many ways. And when I say cheat that, I mean in the way that people are doing it, which is mostly just aesthetic. People are attempting to look a certain way. And that's, to me, I'm just saying that's all fake BS and nonsense for the most part. Because yes, I know plenty of guys who are, as they say, jacked and are hyper athletic like me and acrobatic and like can flip around and jump and do crazy stuff. I don't know how endurant they actually are and how much they can actually do and how much it transfers into combat and other useful stuff. That's not the point. Is that there are a lot of people in the space in my demographic who are promoting all of this, for example, like executive wellness and men over 40 and men in their 50s and, middle-aged fit and all this other kind of stuff like that, but they can't do anything. And you can cheat that with surgeries, with steroids, with hormone replacements. And I'm not negatively judging that stuff just for the sake of negatively judging something, right? I'm talking about it because of the deceptive practices of so many who make all these claims that you can look like this and okay, fine, go ahead and look like that. At what expense? Like, so you can look. It's the same thing that happens all the time with so many things in our environment, in life in general, with human beings, is that people are all about the form of something, the way something looks, rather than what something can do. Right? It's a lack of substance, which means it's unsustainable, right? I can compare it. This is something that a lot of people can understand, right? The honeymoon phase of relationships, right? So the honeymoon phase of relationships, the reason why people even talk about that is because a lot of people get into relationships with a lot of faking and fronting and a lot of BS, right? They want to put their best foot forward and they listen to all this nonsense about, you only get a first impression, or however that goes, right, about first impressions. And it's pretty ridiculous that people get brainwashed into all this stuff. And I can very well talk about brainwashing, being trained as a clinical hypnotist from the best hypnosis school in the world, the Hypnosis Motivation Institute. Check them out at hypnosis.edu. You would think that I was an affiliate with them and getting paid the amount of times that I talk about them, but I'm just really proud of that alma mater and the education that I received from them. But so many people are brainwashed by this stuff, and you don't only get a first impression. You can definitely change the way people think and feel about you, even if they have a bad first impression about you. Nothing's impossible. Now there are definitely exceptions. That's not. I'm making a blanket statement. I'm saying that you can do it, but it's not always, right? So, but this whole idea, this deceptive practices, it's almost like the entire world has been brainwashed to lead in with deceptive practices with everybody, to front. And what I'm saying is, you don't have to do that. Like you actually, but the problem is that so many people are distracted away from actually building a self of substance, that they have to front and fake because they don't have any real substance. They're all about the form over the function. Yes, this is highly critical of this. And if it's hurting your feelings, well, then it's hurting your feelings because you're fitting in that category of somebody who doesn't have any real substance. You don't have any substance of self. You just go around your life faking, putting on designer clothes and shoes and fake stuff, and you're putting on and dressing up and acting like and going on dates and shock and awe dinners and spending all the money and all the flash and all these things, and it's unsustainable. So this is what I'm talking about. How long can you do that if you really don't have all that money? How long can you put so many things on your credit cards and overextend yourself until it breaks down, until the facade fades? Right? That's not good for a long-term relationship. Now, it's fine if you don't want those, and if you're good at just burning yourself out and going deeply into debt just to impress people that you want to date for a short period of time and get hookups and stuff like that. That's fine. A lot of people are doing that. I'm not against it totally. I mean, there might be some problems with that, but I don't know. I don't live my life like that. But you get what I'm saying, right? There's a honeymoon phase where people tend to, they tend to burn out from the person that they're with because the glitz and the glamour wears off, right? The front wears off. It's as I've been saying, it's unsustainable. And it's this unsustainable part that's the issue, where people are so into this first impression and trying to do that, and they can't keep it up. Because it's not real. It's not who they really are, right? Like if you're the kind of person like me who likes to go to bookstores and coffee shops and walk on the beach, or just park at the beach, or go sit on the beach, or go to parks and flip around in the sunlight and walk or ride your bike and things like that, and that's what you would rather be doing with somebody, then do that. I just named a whole bunch of stuff that might seem to be similar, but they're just basic activities that you might want to do with somebody that you care about anyway. So start off with that. And if the person doesn't like it, if they're one of those crazy people that I've seen every once in a while on social media who flip out that you take them on a coffee date or something like that, or that you went somewhere that wasn't, like a $200 steak dinner or whatever nonsense these people are doing, then they're going to naturally just weed themselves out. You don't want that kind of nonsense. So now I frame this in the whole dating world thing because people can relate to that. And a lot of people know that because a lot of you do that yourself. You put on all these fronts and faking and stuff like that. And so now what does all of this have to do with fitness and, being fit in, I guess they call it middle age, right? And a person like me, 48 years old. Because I do have some videos that I took recently in that I'm not a model, but I was trying to do some poses and flexing just to show how crazily ripped I am, like how I was 20 years ago, 30 years ago. And so I'm gonna eventually, at some point in time, put those videos up, but because it's gonna go along, and I'm gonna edit them. Well, I already have. I've edited them together with the videos of me doing the crazy backflips and spins and all that other stuff like that. So but that's the point, is that I don't just look ripped and muscular and I'm not like a big giant, I'm not a muscle head, right? Like I hardly ever lift weights. I do some calisthenics, but mostly the calisthenics come from when I'm practicing capoeira moves, and I just eat really well. And it's like my super soldier serum that I figured out. I figured out how to dial into my own body. But I'm very critical of the people who are just showing the physique and not showing that you can actually do something. So the fact that I can do backflips and tornado kicks and 540-degree spin kicks and all these other things, cartwheels and handstands and jumping and and I'm flexy and bendy and can hold all these yoga poses and do all this stuff, is because I'm functional, and I very rarely get sore, and I'm not stiff when I wake up in the morning. I don't have aches and pains all over my body. There's no arthritis anywhere in me, and I sleep really well, and I don't go about my days feeling all groggy and pooped out and low energy, unless it's like the other day when I did security at the Green Parrot in Chicks Beach until like 2:30 in the morning, and then got a call that asked me to do security for the Chicks Beach 5K run, which is at 7 a.m. And so I just crashed out my car in the parking lot for, I think it was like 3.5 hours that I got to sleep. And for the first part of the day, I was A-okay. And I didn't really eat much except for some walnuts and almonds and cashews. And I was feeling it after that, though. It was hard. But so my point is, yeah, I don't experience all those negative things that people claim are supposed to be the signs and symptoms of simply just being 48. That's so dumb to me. I never believed it, and so I just don't play into it. I don't entertain that kind of nonsense. And again, yes, I'm intentionally being harsh because I'm just letting myself say what I feel about the things that people get brainwashed by. It's stupid to me. It might not be stupid to you, and I don't think that you're stupid if you believe those things, but it is stupid. You've just been brainwashed. That's the whole thing about brainwashing, is that you didn't intend for it to happen. It happened though, and it's not good. All right, so now all of this is really to direct you to start. I'm doing pre-launch, pre-sale, pre-sign-ups for SwordPaper.com. Well, really, it's the SwordPaper podcast on Spreaker. Eventually, you'll be able to you can access it through SwordPaper.com if it's easier. But when you sign up to the supporters club through Spreaker, it's $30 a month to have access to my exclusive podcast, which I am going in on full immersion about how to access my super soldier serum I'm calling it, or the superhuman protocol, or how to become superhuman through toxin elimination and nutrition. You can even look up that article yourself if you want to. You can also go on Amazon and find my book called Rivers of Poisoned Blood, Slaughtering the Enemies of Nutritional Health. And then I did a spin-off 3-novel series so far of it called Organelle. It's in the Organelle series. I do have my own boutique bookstore that is books.by/uniquequilibrium, but not all of my books are up there yet, because at the time when I signed up, they didn't have an ebook option. So all of my books on there are paperback, but they're all there for various ways for you to support my work, because it's a worthy thing to do because of the information that I'm going to be giving people. And the first place to start is you can look up my Uniquequilibrium YouTube. Uniquequilibrium, UNIQUILIBRIUM is the handle for, I think, all of my social media. So if you go to TikTok, you go to YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, you'll find at Uniquequilibrium. I think it's even on X, but I don't use them a lot, but that's my signature, and I have uniquequilibrium.com. So, but my point is, go there and you can look and you'll find the videos, because I put them up there for this purpose, so you can validate for yourself, so you can see that I'm a person who's able to do these things. Not only do I have the form, do I look physically fit, but I can actually do things with my body. And I'm not saying that you have to do those things. I'm not saying you have to do 540-degree spin kicks and tornado kicks and backflips and cartwheels and all these other things like that. But I have the understanding and the ability to coach people to get to the highest level that they can for themselves, whatever that may be. If they eventually want to start doing backflips and all this other crazy stuff, regardless of what age they are, then so be it. Because the fact of the matter is that you might, because we have information so readily available at our fingertips, you might see a whole bunch of people doing tricks and flipping and acrobatic stuff and think that so many people can do it, but we're actually a rare breed. We're actually a very small demographic of the planet that can actually do that. And in the United States, it's even smaller, because the United States has a problem where 70% of people are overweight and 40% are obese. So, and now there are some heavy people doing some cool stuff with their bodies and doing some acrobatic stuff, but it's not the norm. There are people who are just built differently and have done different things with their body for a long time and figured it out. But it's not for everybody. So the fact that I'm able to do these things is it's not just impressive for my age. It's impressive in general. There are people actually who are more than half my age who said I can't do any of that when they see me doing the things that I'm doing. So they can't even do cartwheels. They can't squat like I do, handstands, do the yoga, nothing. They can't do any of it. So it's not that, it's just for my age. The whole, you look good for your age and for your age and you can do that for your age. People are constantly asking me. It's not about that. It's just that I can do that and I can get people there. And that's what the podcast on SwordPaper is for the supporters club and the supporters only, completely exclusive. Unless you want to dig through the thousands of hours and the hundreds of podcast episodes that I have, you can definitely put it together yourself, as well as mining all the various different blogs that I have scattered to the winds all over the internet. You're welcome to do that. You can piece together everything that I've said from the books that I've mentioned. But that is what I've done. That is what I'm doing. That's how it is. So, Hakeem Ali Bokus Alexander, that's me. SwordPaper on Spreaker. You may have to get a Spreaker account or download the app to be able to access it, but that's how it is. That's the app. You want to have access to these things. You want to become superhuman. You want to understand the superhuman, the super soldier serum, as I'm calling it, which is really actually not something that's special at all, except for the discipline and the focus that's required in order to get there. That's what's really super about it. But it's not for everybody. I'm not a medical doctor, again, so check with your medical professionals and whoever your experts are, doctors and psychiatrists and all that, before you embark on any kind of fitness program, before you sign up for my supporters club. But like I said, this is the pre-launch, the pre-sale, whatever you want to call it. There's nothing up there right now. It's $30 a month. You sign up, you get in. Yeah, I know it's more than Netflix and all that other stuff that you be doing with those streaming services that have visuals and all that flash and stuff like that, but this is better for you in the long run, period. SwordPaper on Spreaker. You'll be able to find a lot of it through swordpaper.com, and I'm not even sure. The SwordPaper podcast is probably accessible through swordpaper.com already, but maybe not, but it doesn't matter. And yeah, that's it. And I'm putting up these podcasts in various different places. This one's probably going to go on the actual Uniquilibrium one, which will go to YouTube as well. So, all right, have a good one. Do better.